everybody. My name is Alfonso Espinos. I'm the president and chief editor of Studio Comix Press, and you are listening to True North Country Comics.
Welcome to the True North Country Comics Podcast, dedicated to promote Canadian comic book and graphic novel creators and supporters. I'm John Swinimer. On this special episode in the series entitled Made in Canada Creator Resources, I chat with a variety of professional specialists who discuss whether Canadian comic book and graphic novel creators have all the resources they need in Canada to produce and promote their content. Please like and subscribe to this website by hitting the subscribe button so you'll be notified about new podcast interviews and article posts. This podcast is available wherever podcasts are enjoyed. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Alfonso Espinos is an award-winning Canadian comic book creator and illustrator. He's the founder of Studio Comix Press, where he is the project's chief editor, publishing the ongoing series The Night Spike. His focus has been on publishing his own original material, but he also supports and works alongside a very talented team of new emerging graphic artists and comic enthusiasts to start up in the indie comic book business by developing titles for almost all kinds of genres. Based in Kitchener, Ontario, Studio Comix Press offers a variety of commercial printing solutions, including book printing, marketing materials, promotional materials, plus a wide variety of unique printed products. With a combination of knowledge and experience, Studio Comix Press strives to offer the highest quality service in the current indie comic book business. And Studio Comix Press is proud to print and showcase hundreds of independent titles to the world. So, without further ado, on this special episode, Made in Canada Creator Resources, here's my chat with Alfonso Espinos from Studio Comix Press. So, Alfonso Espinos, thank you very much for taking time to chat with me.
John, my friend, once again, it's such a joy to be here with you, chatting with you, and of course, really glad to hear your voice, my friend.
Yeah, it's always great chatting with you. I know that you're very busy, so I won't take up too much of your time, but I want to chat with you a little bit in the context of this series that I'm doing, and it's all based on the context of whether Canadians can make comics here in Canada. And I know that that sounds like a silly question, but I remind listeners back in World War II, there was this, they couldn't allow comics to cross the border. So it developed a whole wave of new Canadian creators. And we've had plenty since then, and that issue has gone away. But I just was curious to know, get your thoughts on whether it's possible to do that here. Do we have everything that we need from a resource perspective to make comics here? And you, as a publisher and sort of an organizer when it comes to making comics, I wanted to get your viewpoint on that just off the bat. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, John, that to start with is a really good question, though. I think that it's a question that not only is really good, but it needs to be addressed for at least another 1,000 times, though. Because then it does give us the opportunity to really understand where are we at and what are we doing as comic book creators, right? If we are really comic book creators, we are and really involved into this industry and we really care for it, we really to understand that we do have everything we need here on Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We do have everything. Now, are we going to be able to use it properly? I think that's the bigger question, John. Because then I can tell you this. I mean, in my own personal experience, when I moved here about like maybe 19 years ago now that I came here from Mexico and then I started life here, I started with like no knowledge about like where to find certain pieces here and there. And we're talking about 20 years ago. It's like the beginning of like the social medias, and we're looking about like the beginning of Twitter. So then it was accessibility thanks to the internet and emails and things like that. But then we're talking about like it wasn't easy to contact each other through Zoom.
That's
So,
true.
do we have everything to create comics? Well, let's make a list. We have the artists here, one of the best lineup of artists that they are working for those other companies across the border, or for that regard, for any part of the world. A lot of them, they are like living here in Canada to start with. Number two, do we have the manners to produce this job for a many, many different times, to replicate a job that has been already produced? Well, we have also that answer. The answer is yes, we do have the chance because here in Canada, we have many publishers that they are looking for new, fresh, and innovative ideas that they can help our industry to grow here in Canada. Number three, do we have the readership? Course we do. If you walk into any comic book store, they will tell you that people are walking looking for something new, something exciting, something that it can be, something that it catches your eye. That time when people used to come and buy only Superman and Batman and Spider-Man, it's over. People are coming to buy and request new stories from different publishers on different parts of the world. This is not a monopoly of comics anymore. This is an open source when it comes to comics, meaning that there's so much out there. Now, are we able to distribute this work? Well, guess what? We do have the manners to distribution. We can do it in many different ways. It can be in a digital format, it can be on a paper printed format, it can be on a in-person format. So then that is just how much creativity do we have to make it all together. And then you have a really good point there. Back on the day, when the previous situation happened in around the world, there was a case when Canada started producing their very own comic books. Those ones, there was a whole generation of them. We saw come from that generation, people like Jerry Lazard, have so many names. The one that comes to my head
Yeah.
immediately is Jerry Lazard, right? It's one of the iconic Canadian ones. And those titles that they were producing here in Canada due to like the limitations that they have in a sense, those books were coming out in a specific kind of printing. And then along the time, those comic books were known as the Canadian whites because they were printed in black and white. So nothing wrong with that because guess what? People were actually reading stories in black and white. So can we do this? Yes, we can. Do we have the manners of doing it? Yes, we do. The question is how we're going to do it. What is the steps that we're going to take to really making it happen? Right? Is it the time to make it happen? Right? There's many other questions. Do we have all? Yes, we do. I can tell you right now, John. We here at Studio Comix Press, and this I don't want to make it that way, but I don't want to make it like sounds like a commercial thing, but we do help a lot of people here. We are not like closed doors. We're not one of those publishers that you can only reach by email and then you have a conversation with three lines. We try to give to our clients, the fans that they showed up, also to the people that are interested in growing up their culture and knowledge and about comic books. We try to offer like or token or to help them reach that point. We help them publish, we give them access to resources, and then we are always looking to help the next artist, right? So we can do this. The one thing I can say that the initial ingredient for us to make this happen, for the industry to really make it happen here in Canada, it's going to be one single word. That's called unity. If we united all together, we are going to be able to make great things, right?
Very true. Very true. Now, you just mentioned, and I know you don't want to make a commercial, but from a practical standpoint, you offer creators a variety of different resources to come up with their finished product. I wonder if you could go through them and just outline them basically. Like, let's say I'm a creator that comes off the street. I've got an idea. What can you do to help me to get to the finished product?
The part of the actual content, what is better known as the intellectual property, the famous IP, right? That is the hardest one to come by because then I have experienced some people that they come with an idea because everything starts in there, right? Some of these individuals, they work that concept for years. I have an opportunity, a great opportunity to talk to people that they come to our tables, our places where we're exhibiting in Comic Cons and source events. They come and tell us, I've been working on this idea for 20 years. I've been writing about this for like 10. I've been doing this for since I was a kid. But this is, again, where it comes to them, right? So then the first thing that I literally do for me to help them is to give them a token of reality when it comes to that. It's like, if you really want to make it happen, stop stop talking about it. You go back and finish it, right? Let the story to talk on itself. Because then, in order for us to really help you, it will be, I mean, we can chat for about 20, 15, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes of whatever you want about your story. And if you go home and you do nothing, and then you come back and then you still want to talk about the story without doing nothing, then it's not going to help, right? So the first thing that I normally do to the people coming to me is they're like, let's finish your story. What do you need to finish your story? Because the first thing that it needs to happen is it needs to be ready to put together. Some people, they find inspiration by watching a movie. Some other ones, they find inspiration by going to the park. And that's something that is tailored for every artist. Some people that you and me both know, they create art with branches and rocks. They use it as a stencil to create amazing pieces of art. There's other people that they are so new and innovative that you can see their line art and their ink work is still in development and stuff. So then both of them are really valid, but both of them are doing it, right? It's not that person who's sitting down telling about the story, it's actually creating the story.
You'll also offer a service that can literally create the book, right? Not only do you provide like guidance on how to come up with the idea and what to put on the paper, but from the end result, you can actually create a book for someone, right?
Absolutely. That's the fun part about it. Because the first part is when you see this creator really crafting the idea and coming up with a result. Because that is step number one. Step number one for them is always kind of like that little bit of like I say, like a little bit of a reality check, right? We have many cases. I can tell you and I can show you the books and I can give you examples of them. The people that literally have come here talk to me. I mean, I'm a person. I'm not. You can come and chat with us, right? And when we're here and they talking about their comic, I say, go back, finish it. And when you finish it, come here, and then we'll help you publish it. It has happened more than 20 times. It has happened at 50 times, right? 100 times, because these people find their inspiration in knowing that what exactly is what is needed to finish your book. They come back here, and then now we have the manners, let's call it the industrial manners, to replicate that work, to print it in many different times. We can do it in many different formats. We can go to any kinds of sources in paper format and make this point a reality once you are ready to move to that point. We have so many people, like we have probably the double number of people that they walk into the store asking how to do it. How am I going to do it? Okay, I can sit down here and give you a whole 25-minute explanation in one single topic. But the point for you will be to go back and do it. Action is the formula, is the first ingredient for any comic book creation. Action is what it needs. If there's no action, there won't be nothing in the other side, right? So they need to sit down and draw. If they're writers, they need to sit down and write. If they're an actor, they need to start acting, right? And start doing it the best that they learn to do it. And once that, then the book is going to print itself. Because literally, you talk about your comic and you're showing your pages, people are getting excited. They want to see it. You post it online and then you make some pre-sales, then you know that people are wanting to get. Then you go into Comic Con and sit down and put a booth together. Then you know that people are reading your stories, and everything is a gradual growth. And we, like I said, we help many of these creators along the 20 years that we've been working on here in Canada, right? And in the printed manner. We plan to be for another 20 years.
Absolutely. Or longer. Longer, yeah.
Or longer. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you mentioned something I want to just dig a little bit deeper on is the issue of paper. I know that paper has always been a big concern across Canada, and they always talk about, like, are we recycling? Are we valuing our resources here? Is paper an issue? Can we make paper here in Canada to sustain the comic books, or do we have to look elsewhere?
We have amazing mills here in Canada. We have a direct tie and contact with one of the bigger distributors and milling companies here in Canada. I've been really lucky to make good contacts with them and, chatting when it comes to options of paper. Is it a medium that is going to last forever? Well, I will tell you this, John, right away. No. Unfortunately, paper is not going to last forever. Paper just by the nature of itself, tends to degrade. Do we have the sources here in Canada? Yes, we do. We can find all the paper. Is it something that is going to last forever? No. We have only just a few, and I will say just a few, of the books and published that they have been done for more than 500 years, right? There's a few publications in existence or original published book for 500, the original books printed, right? And thanks to technology, of course, now we have those same books digitized, scanned, reproduced in different formats, retranslated, because that's what technology is bringing to us. That publishing is not needed to be in paper all the time. You can publish something online, on a webcomic, on a different kind of medium. But if we're talking about paper, I think paper is going to still last for another 500 years. Is it our comic books going to last that long? I will tell you this right away, John. No. But we're here for another 100 years. And if people still reading for 100 years, then we're good.
That's great. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So let's go back to this original premise of someone coming off the street and wanting to make a book. What advice would you give to an amateur? I know you've said a few things, but what would be maybe the top 3 things that you would say to someone coming into your shop at Studio Comix Press and when they want to make a comic? What would you say to them? Top 3 things.
That is a really good question, John. And it comes all the time. The first thing that I will absolutely advise them to do is don't compare your work. What it means is like some people look at their work and they say, oh, it's not good. And they stop. They want to become the next. And then I will put an empty line and then you fill it up with whatever trendy artist is right now, right? I remember 10, 20 years ago was Todd McFarlane. Before that was like Jim Lee, right? And then the list grows as you move, right? So then there's, I don't know who's the new artist coming up for, but everybody wants to draw like. And then don't draw like, just draw like you. Do your own style. Don't compare your work. Do it for the fun of doing something for you, right? Allow yourself a little bit of room for error because there's always a room for error because that's what it makes us artists. That's what it makes us unique. Because if you do a perfect thing, then the next one is you will not do anything better. You already did your perfect thing. That's it. Can you do any better? Then if you already did the perfect thing and then you sit to celebrate your perfect thing, then you are doomed to be there. You are not creating, you're just celebrating, right? That's the thing that we have artists. The first one is not compared to anyone. The second one is do it because you want to do it, because you're finding it that is fun, that is engaging, that is interactive, that is cool. If you are doing it because it's at work, it's something that it has to go out and it puts pressure on you, then you might not be enjoying it as much unless you enjoy pressure. And the third advice that I will give for artists out there that they want to start up on this career is that just don't allow yourself to let people to see your work, right? There's always room for you to grow. Make sure to put yourself out and bring the best of you that you can. There's going to be always that person that is not going to like it. There's always that person that is critical about your work. There's always going to be one person that is going to like it, one person that is going to celebrate you. But you need to keep working. That's our life, right? Comic book artists, that's what we do.
That's very good advice. Alfonso, for people who want to find out more about Studio Comix Press, where should they go?
We are located at 385 Frederick Street. We are just right by the main entrance, unit number 12. We are open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We are located in Kitchener-Waterloo. It's pretty much about like 45 minutes from Toronto, 45 minutes from London, right? Maybe an hour with a little bit of traffic. But we are very centric. We are literally in the middle of everything. And come right here, come and tell us. If you don't want to come directly here, just give us a call. Like we have a service line that you can call us every time, and we answer the phone. It's 519-954-3232. And you see how much I call myself. 519-954-3232. And then, yeah, just call us here. Send us an email if you want. The website is www.studiocomics with an X at the end.com. And then you will find all the information about us, who we are, what we do, where we are, and how old we are.
Thanks to Alfonso for the chat. You can discover more about Studio Comix Press at studiocomix.com, and that's comics with an X, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Studiocomix Press. And thank you for tuning in to the True North Country Comics podcast. I invite you to visit the True North Country Comics website to listen to even more conversations, discover more about creators' insight on making comic books and graphic novels. I also encourage you to subscribe via the website so you'll be notified about new podcast interviews and article posts. This podcast is available wherever podcasts are enjoyed. Please like, follow, and subscribe. You can follow along True North Country Comics on most social media sites, and you're encouraged to send any and all feedback to John at truenorthcountrycomics.com. Thanks for tuning in, and come back soon for another episode. Bye for now. True North Country Comics Podcast is copyright True North Country Comics, copyright 2025.